Who's on first? What's on second? And I don't know's on third, according to the famous Abbott and Costello baseball routine. Hi, my name is Robert Hunting. This is one of several in a series explaining how children learn mathematics. Young children learn about ordinal numbers, gradually associating names and events. Although hard to know for sure, it is likely that knowledge of numerical order and numerical quantity progress at least for a time in parallel. Historically, there is a close connection between ordinal numbers and fractions. For example, we read about the ancient Romans deciding who would be on duty during, say, the fourth watch of the night, where the nighttime hours for watchmen were divided into 4 equal 3-hour periods, the fourth watch being from 3 a.m. until 6 a.m. Linguistically, in English, corresponding terms for 1 and first, 2 and second, 3 and third don't really begin to settle into an obvious pattern until 4 fourth, 5 fifth, and so on. I was interested to see if or how young children would make ordinal correspondences between complementary sets of items. How would they deal with ordinal terms such as just before, just after, and between, in the context of order, constrained by complementary matchings where one set was ordered, the other set not. A situation we called on parade, involving figurines of marches and their flags, was presented to 2 5-year-olds and a 7-year-old individually. Neither of these children had seen this situation before. The marchers were portrayed on a set of flashcards, each marcher being matched to a flag possessing a similar design as that marcher's uniform. The marchers are lined up in a row, one behind the other, as if marching toward a gate or doorway. As I said, to each marcher there belongs a particular flag, a set of complementary correspondences. The interview begins with questions about the ordinal position of selected marchers. Can you point to the first marcher? Can you point to the second marcher? Which is the fourth marcher? And so on. This situation was designed to investigate the extent to which children are able to use ordinal relationships based upon correspondences between marchers and flags. Numbers used in an ordinal sense refer to the position or order of items when placed in a line. Usually, an ordinal number has an ordinal suffix, th, such as fourth, sixth, tenth, and so on. Cardinal numbers refer to the size of a set of items. In the first part of the interview, we see almost 5-year-old Talia becoming familiar with the situation, using the marchers only, and being introduced to language such as just before, just after, and between.
They're marching next.
They're marching towards this gateway, aren't they? Now, can you point to the first marcher? Where's the first marcher?
This one.
Is that the first marcher? Isn't the first marcher the marcher that's first going to get to the gateway first?
Yeah.
Okay. Which marcher is this then?
The second one.
The second one.
Third.
Yes.
Fourth.
Fifth.
Fifth. Sixth.
Sixth.
Last.
He sure is last. That's very good. Now I'm going to point to a couple of marchers. I want you to tell me if you can tell me which ones they are. Which marcher is this marcher? Is he the last marcher?
Third.
The third. Which marcher is this marcher?
Fifth.
The fifth. Which marcher is just before the fourth marcher?
Last.
Is that the last?
Yes.
Where's the fourth marcher? How do you know that's the fourth?
Because you see that's 1, 2, 3, 4,
So this is the fourth.
fourth.
Now where's the marcher just before the fourth marcher? This one.
Third.
The third one, that's right. In the second part of the interview, the flags were introduced and Emily, aged 4 years and 11 months, was invited to match each flag with its marcher. Alright, there's the other ones.
This green.
The third part has the flags gathered together with the marchers remaining in position, and the interviewer asked Emily about the ordinal position of selected flags. Which flag comes just after this flag? You show me the flag? Okay, put him on there. Alright. The fourth part of the interview focused on ordinal relations between selected flags based on correspondences with the marchers, who are lined up for reference. Luca, aged 7 years and 2 months, is seen here. Which flag comes last?
That one.
How do you know that flag comes last?
Because actually that one.
Which one? That one there. Okay. How many flags are between these two flags?
Four.
Aha. How did you know that?
Because that's the second, that's the seventh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you take away a 2 from 7,
Mm-hmm.
it equals 5. And
Yes.
then
Let's put the flags on the marchers. Now, you told me, you're saying that there's 5 flags between those two flags?
no, 4.
But you said 7 take away 2 is 5.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's 4 between there.
4. Okay, you sure about that now?
Yes.
Yes, alright. He justified his answer of 4 flags between the second and 7th flags by explaining that 2 from 7 is 5, but when challenged, continued to argue that there were 4 flags between. Here he was confronted with the seeming anomaly that the difference between 2 and 7 is not the same as the number of flags between the 2nd and 7th flags. The last part of the interview involved even more challenging questions for Luca. I'll say that again. I'm thinking about 2 flags, and here is a clue. These 2 flags are just before the 6th flag. Now, can you find the flag that is just before these 2? What do you got there? Yes. Now what's the flag that comes just before those 2? That one. What flag is that?
3rd.
All right. The problem situations presented here demanded facility with ordinal relationships and terminology. He was able to coordinate his knowledge of ordinal relations across 2 complementary matching sets, marchers and flags, where it was necessary to transfer the ordinal positions of marchers to their respective flags, matched only by virtue of their individual designs, not positions. You can obtain a copy of the interview plan used in this video by visiting my website www.palm-ed.com/resources.html. You may wish to obtain my books, The How and Why of Teaching Elementary Mathematics and What Children Can Teach Adults About Mathematics, available through the iTunes Store, Amazon.com or Google Books. Visit my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/HelloPalm.